while the recitation from the Holy Quran and the Hadith are said.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية ناصية كاذبة خاطية فليدع ناديه سندع الزبانية كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب صدق الله العظيم. عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من خرج في طلب العلم فهو في سبيل الله حتى يرجع رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said, he who goes forth in search of knowledge is considered as struggling in the cause of Allah until he returns.
Students, I think you've forgotten after a long time to be silent. I'm just going to read a prayer before we begin. So you can close your eyes and seek God's blessings on this new school. Gracious God, we come to you at the beginning of this academic year with our many feelings, expectations, fears, and hopes. Help us to remember, however, we have the comforting assurance from you, I will always be with you. Loving God, for all of us, this is a time of transition. It is transition from the work and leisure of the past year back to the classroom. It is transition from time spent with family and friends. Give us patience with ourselves as we transition from one school campus to another, as well as patience with one another. Faithful God, this beginning is totally new for some among us. Turn the sadness of leaving familiar surroundings to openness to new opportunities. Turn the anxiety about academics to a quiet confidence in the way you have blessed us in the past. Give us a new perspective to see persons, events, and academic work as an invitation to develop the many gifts you have given us to be used in the service of others. Dear God, we are moving into the first year at the secondary section of GEM's Legacy School. Bless us with your gifts of awe and wonder at the friends we have made, the way our minds and hearts have been changed, and the many opportunities that lie ahead. Give us the gift of discernment to make the right choices about the future. Finally, God, give to each member of the GLS community the 7 gifts of wisdom, understanding, right judgment, courage, knowledge, reverence, and awe and wonder. Allow us to experience your presence in the many blessings you put before us. Open our eyes to the new challenges and exciting opportunities that the new school year brings. Open our hearts and minds to new friends and new teachers. Give us a generous spirit to be enthusiastic with our learning and courage to accept new opportunities. Help us to be attentive and let us experience your presence and inspire us to do our very best this year. Good morning, everyone. Yes, now I will invite our Vice President of the Indian Education, our cluster of schools, Mr. Michael Guzler, to the stage. Some of you know him, many of you don't, especially if you're new to the school. Here's an opportunity to meet the person who's leading us on the way forward. Michael.
Good morning. Mr. Alexander, senior colleagues from our corporate office, my dear pupils, faculty, and any other ladies and gentlemen, any parents. What a special morning this is. And I'm so happy, and I'm sure you're equally happy to be here in this new campus. Over the years, Mr. Alexander and I joined on the same day 21 years ago. And over these years, I've had the opportunity, I've been given the opportunity to start new schools and to shift campuses. And it's always been a challenge because somehow or the other, we're always fighting time. But there's one person that I've always looked to for inspiration and for that push. And that's our chairman, Mr. Sunny Bharti. As a leader, you see in him determination, drive, and a passion to excel and to deliver. And there's one person in this room who has very, very similar qualities, and that's your principal, Mrs. Alexander. I think we need to give her a clap today. A loud clap. As I was sharing with my friends this morning, if you saw this campus 3 or 4 weeks ago, you wouldn't believe that we could have shifted in here and started this morning. But with tremendous support from people in the first row, senior colleagues from GEMS, from our CEO, Mr. Dino Bharti, and the inspiration from our chairman, we are here and we are open. And I'm going to leave you with a short message this morning. If you want something really badly, then you have to fight for it. Because this world is not an easy place and you're not going to get everything on a platter. You have to have that burning desire that you want something to happen. Think about it. What do you want to happen for yourself in your life? Then fight for it. Go all out. Do everything that you can within the rules to ensure that it happens. And I promise you, if you have that fire within you, it will. And so this morning, as we sit here, or stand here, in this expansion of GEMS Legacy School, we should be proud. Over the years, a number of parents have met Mr. Alexander, your principal, and said, why don't we have a full school? And ma'am, we don't like it that after grade 5, we have to shift to other GEMS schools. And some of us may not get admission and then we go elsewhere. And over the years, Mrs. Alexander, being the determined principal that she is, has kept on asking us, let's do it. And finally, we got approvals, we got support from our KHDA. We're going to meet the Education Council this morning to get his support and blessings. And here we are. And so I wish you all the very best at the start of this academic year. You're now grade 6 and 7 over here, and with permission and with support from the authorities, we will soon be a full school till grade 12. I wish you all the very best. Congratulations, Mr. Alexander. Congratulations to the faculty. God bless you. Thank you so much. Well done, Rajiv. Lenato. Great job. Stand up and take a clap, Rajiv. Stand up. That's the Lenato who made it happen.
I wanted to tell you, there are 4 things I want to express this morning. First is, I am deeply grateful to God who has brought all of you here this morning in a new campus. Definitely grateful to the ancillary staff and Rajiv, who has worked tirelessly for 2.5 weeks, because I remember Pete Stapley telling me constantly it's just 2.5 weeks that we had. And in 2.5 weeks, they have done us proud. They have made the school habitable. They have made sure that your classrooms, your auditorium and the surroundings are clean. And it has been a huge task, and so to all the ancillary staff, Mr. Tony, Gopan, Yunus, Mr. Rajiv, under whose leadership all this has happened, thank you. My heart is brimming with gratitude. A big round of applause. I'm also grateful to the wonderful people seated in the front row. I'm not taking any order, but Jasmine and Abid, thank you for the sterling support that you've given us in terms of all of the equipment that we require in such a short span of time. I know it's not possible, but I think you opened your hearts and you said, take. And I think we need to applaud these 2 wonderful people. Right next to him is a handsome young man. Please stand so that the students can see Mr. Ryden. It's because of Ryden's very astute mathematics and brain that we were able to occupy this campus. He never gave up at any point of time, made sure he convinced all the management people that this is a viable option, that this school is something that is going to succeed in the years to come. So we're deeply grateful to Mr. Ryden. I'm also grateful to my friend Mr. Jonathan Brandy and Aditya Bella, to the marketing department. You've seen all the wonderful posters, children, in the school, all the marketing designs. They've been made by the marketing and communication department, and they put in a lot of work so that it could be done so quickly, so that when the campus is open, you would feel that you are at home. So thank you to all of the members of the corporate office. To those who are present and not present, I want to thank Mr. Pete Stapley, InfraCare team, the SDS team, Steve Burnell, a lot of people without whom today would not have been possible. So we're starting the beginning of the year. I was just sitting and talking to Mr. Jonathan in my office, and he asked me, when you said you've been on this journey of 11 years, what do you mean? So I'm going to retrace that journey, which I did with Mr. Jonathan. 11 years ago, maybe some of you were not born, some of you may have been 1 year old, okay? So 11 years ago, even before most of you were born, I was dreaming that this school that I inherited from Mrs. Pinto and Mr. Lawrence Hartnett would become a true school. A school that would educate children right up to grade 12. I walked in and I told the chairman, it has actually served its purpose as a feeder school. I think our own Dubai and our own Barca can stand on its own. We don't need to continually send children from this school to another school. He said, yes, I agree with you, but that was it. Then the KHDA came by and they said, until the school becomes a good school, you can't even think about it. So 3 or 4 years, I think the staff worked very hard after I'd taken over, and finally we managed to push the school from an acceptable rating to a good rating. I knew principal, come sit down. As soon as we got a good rating, I went back to the chairman and I said, where's my secondary section? And he said, yes, it's going to happen. And I remember distinctly, I was at a meeting when he walked in and he told me, Asha, you're getting the secondary section, it's in Muhais now. And I was excited. I didn't have to work very hard at all. The chairman was going to give us a new secondary section. And then for some strange reason, for a few years, the all was quiet. There was nothing about the school growing. What What I want you to remember is just what Mr. Garza told you when he ended. If you have a dream, you can't give up on it. You've got to keep believing till it happens. Never stop believing. So the second step on that journey was, when the pandemic hit, most people looked at it as a horrible period. For me, I saw opportunity in that difficulty. What was the opportunity? I saw the school empty itself of more than 1,000 children in 1 year. We were 5,000 plus children, and suddenly we were 4,300 or 4,200 children. Many parents had to leave and run away because they couldn't sustain themselves, they lost their jobs. It was a really hard time. While I empathized, I saw opportunity. I knew that this is the time to approach the management again and say, I want to grow the school. So I met Mr. Dino Varki one day at a meeting in the school, and I said, Dino, I'd like to fill up these classes. I would like to get in grade 6. And he said, Asha, no new school, just this campus. I said, anything. I will take this campus. Just give me permission to grow the school to grade 6, he said. And he said, yes, I think the classrooms are empty. We could do with more students. He's a businessman, as is Mr. Bharti. And I knew that the only way at that point was to show him that this is going to be beneficial as a business. That we can get more students if we capitalize on this opportunity. So I want you to remember, whenever there is difficulty, whenever there is a challenge, there is also opportunity in that difficulty. It's for you to recognize that difficulty as a challenge, as an opportunity, and build on it. So the minute I got permission, we started GEM's Legacy School, grade 6 last year. And as the school grew, I have to be grateful to our parents who've entrusted you to us. They have ensured that the secondary section of GEM's Legacy School can happen, because throughout the year, I was thinking, oh, when we transition, and if we do transition to another campus, will our students stay with us? I think this morning, with more than 550 students in this room, we have been given the faith of your parents, the trust they have reposed in us. That's the reason that we are here. So, during the pandemic and during this time of challenging change, I want you to look at our tagline. It says, a legacy of empathy, resilience, leadership, and sustainable living. One of my teachers asked me, is this the legacy that you want to live? I said, no. This is the legacy that GEMS will leave in the children of the school. Not in the building, but in its people. In the children that sit here. Each one of you will grow up to be empathetic, resilient leaders who will care for the planet. That's what we want from you. And by resilience, I mean we have to stop being rigid. This is the lesson I learned in life. You can stand like an oak tree, but when the storm comes, you break. You should be like the grass on the ground. It holds everything in place. It can be trampled on. It will bend when the storm breaks, but you'll always be able to stand up once again. You've got to become like the grass on the ground. You've got to be humble. You've got to bind everything around you to make sure that even in difficulty, even in calamity, you learn resilience. That is the single greatest skill I want all your children to inherit and have the legacy of. You must be resilient. We need resilient leadership. We need resilient children, because the world is going to throw up a lot of challenges every single day of our lives. And if you break, you can stand tall and proud like an oak for some time. But if you don't know to be rigid and inflexible, that will be the end. You will not be able to stand up again. So resilience is very important. So I want you to remember that this journey that we have started, I'm an old woman, but I have young dreams. I still have lots of dreams for you and the school. So it's not that you realize one dream that you stop dreaming. I dream with my eyes wide open, and I want all of you to also dream and have dreams for yourself and the school. I know many of you are excited. I saw your joy as soon as you walked in. I'm just going to take 3 or 4 questions if any of you students have for me so that I can hear your voice, what you feel about the school. Is there anybody who wants to ask anything or express something? Stand up, sir. Can somebody give him a mic? Give him a mic with us.
Will the next grades be in this campus or a different one?
Fantastic question, and I hope my leaders are listening. I hope it will be in this campus, son. Definitely grade 8, we're going to continue in this campus. The plan at the moment is to construct a building on this campus. So I think we should be here.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Is there anybody else who has a question? Just raise your hand, somebody will come to you. And I want you to listen to what they are asking, not talk.
In the future grades, like as in grade 11 and 12, in the future grades, will you expand to more subjects?
We are going to have lots of subjects. Firstly, after this, your teachers will take you to the robotic lab, where we have put in about 6 or 7 flight simulators. You're all going to fly aircraft. You're going to learn drama. You're going to learn financial literacy. All of that is here. I am ready. I didn't want to excite you, but I want to hear your voice. That's the reason why I'm giving you this opportunity. Yes, Jessica.
So, going to the topic of music and arts, will we be continuing our tradition of having concerts in this campus?
We will continue all the traditions we began, because tradition is something we hand down. We're going to have Malhar. We have the only tabla ensemble in all of Dubai, where girls and boys play tabla. We are going to continue that. We're going to have Western music. We're going to have concerts like we had before. And as you stand, Jasper, I'm actually thinking we should have a head of a student leader for the performing arts. So that will be a new introduction this year.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's not polite if we don't listen to our friends.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Varun.
I can't hear you, sir. Can you lower your mask so you don't?
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Varun. So, basically, will we expand to 100% capacity in school, or will it be like still social distancing should go on?
Interesting question that none of us can say. Those are the challenges that the world throws up. If the pandemic continues, there will be social distancing. I'm praying to God that we will all be on the campus as far as possible, because you've got a lovely turf field, you've got basketball courts. Very shortly, I will put in place tennis courts for you. You will have table tennis boards to play table tennis. I'm going to make sure that you have a more widened opportunity for sports and games. Okay, I'll take 2 more questions and then we will be off.
Excuse me, ma'am. My
Yes?
name is Sana. My name is Sana. I'm from 6I. I do not have any questions. I just want to say thank you for spending your time, your precious time, giving us a speech and welcoming us with all your hearts. It's actually a very big pleasure for us.
one more question, sir. Right, a girl. Yes, all right. Can we have silence while you listen to her? Otherwise, I can't hear her very well.
Will there be any more after school activities like after school?
Will there be?
After school activities?
Yes. This school is going to offer a day boarding facility. That means after Ramadan, all of you will stay till 4 o'clock. You will have prep and games, and you will also have additional afternoon activities like drama, financial literacy, and others. Children, put your hands down. I know you're excited. No shouting, please. All right. So thank you all. Today, please spend your time with your teachers. Learn about them. Make sure that you walk around the campus and see everything there is to see. The next time I meet you, I want everyone in complete uniform, including blazers, ties, scarves. If you're not getting them, please intimate your class teachers, and I will get back to threads and ensure that you're all turned out in complete school uniform. I'm very particular about it. Two, as a matter of advice, we've spent a lot of time. Your ancillary staff, Mr. Rajiv, has made sure that the rooms have been painted and clean. It should continue to be maintained in the same manner. I believe a school, how it looks, is a depiction of you as a person. Please look after whatever is given to you. Your new furniture, your classroom walls, your corridors. It's only small children who don't understand who spoil things. If you look after your things at home, I expect you to look after all the things that have been given to you in this school. It has not come easily, and I do not want anyone spoiling any of the things that our ancillary staff have taken so much effort to make available to you. So please look after your desks. Please look, I know I had to fight for them. You wouldn't have got new desks otherwise. So we have new furniture, we've got newly painted walls and doors. Look after it. Respect is part of pride, which is our core value. Perseverance, respect, integrity, discipline, and excellence. Respect your environment, respect each other, and have a wonderful, wonderful new year. Thank you. Please remain seated while I escort our guests from the auditorium. Stay seated. You will be given directions to leave by Mr. Paramjit.
Okay, all of you breathe in, breathe out.